What's going on? It's your boy Correy K. Welcome to the Correy K Affect. Now, this is a very, very, very special episode. You know why? Because it's the first episode. Now, get ready for a dope series. We got a lot of dope interviews, a lot of dope people coming through. Now, today, in the building, we have a legend, an icon in this business. When you talk about New York radio, when you talk about certain rappers' careers, when you talk about hip-hop, you got to mention this guy. Introducing the finisher, Mr.Cee. Round of applause for my dog, Mr.Cee. What's going on, brother?
Corey, what's good, man? What's good, man?
I'm here, man.
Am I in the first episode?
You on the first episode, man. So,
okay.
First of all, I want to say, C, I appreciate you. As soon as I hit you up, you said, yo, let's get it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't no like back and forth, nothing. We set up the date and it happened. And I also want to say I appreciate what you've done for this business over the past 20 years. And one thing I love about you, Mr.Cee, is that you stay relevant with whatever's going on in hip hop, with our culture. Like, we can't call you a old school DJ. Like, you could go head to head with anybody that's out right now.
I appreciate it. But
so,
we got to be honest.
Let's be honest.
When you asked me about doing it, I actually was like, I don't really like doing interviews. Let's keep it funky. I was like, I really don't like doing interviews.
That's what I noticed.
But
I noticed you hardly.
I was like, Corey, it's for you. I'm gonna do it.
I appreciate that, man.
And I want to bounce the appreciation back to you. Definitely congratulations on all the stuff that you're doing.
Thank you.
Starting off as a dancer.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
A lot of them don't know that, man.
You know
the shot to Corey days.
The shot to Corey days and doing being a dancer in the reggae scene here in Brooklyn, and then converting that into being a promoter, and then becoming from a promoter to an event planner.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of promoters don't know how to raise the bar from being a promoter to an event planner. Everybody wants to promote, but nobody wants to step it up and become an event planner. There's a big difference. So you've transformed yourself on being that. And you got a lot more work to do. So you're starting off this podcasting and all of that. And so congratulations to you too as well.
Thank you.
Man.
Appreciate you. So, see what's going on, man. What's new? What's new in life?
No, everything is good in my life. Everything is good. I really don't have anything to complain about. If you see me, you see how much weight I lost. You see I lost a lot of weight. You know what I mean? I'm on a 40-day C-set. I'm just kidding, because everybody on the 40-day reset. But honestly, lost a lot of weight.
That's good. That's good. Health is wealth, man. And
it really just comes from less stress.
Right.
I'm not on no special diet. It's not like I'm doing anything and particularly, different. I mean, I don't eat the same that I used to maybe 7 years ago, but for me, it's just less stress. In my older age, I had to learn, stop worrying about stuff you can't control.
My mom's always telling me that, man.
If you can't control it, why are you worrying about it for?
Exactly.
The more that you worry less about things, the more healthier your internal body is, and so on and so forth. And the other thing is to get sleep.
Right.
Get a lot of sleep.
That's the hardest. That's the hardest part. I can't tell you the last time I got 8 hours sleep.
Yo, bro, I don't play. I gotta get my sleep in. I gotta get my sleep in. My 7-8 hours of sleep. And even when I DJ at a lot of these parties, a lot of these clubs around the city, I even take naps.
Before you go.
A nap for me might be 3 to 5 hours, which is really a sleep.
Right.
Some people think a nap is like an hour or two. My naps be like 3 to 5 hours. So get your sleep. And if you got to take a nap, man, cut the phone off and just take a nap. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people think taking a nap means that you're old.
Right.
But bottom line is you are old. You're getting older.
We're getting older every day.
So your body can't run around the way that you used to run around. So sometimes you got to cut the phone off, set the alarm clock, and just take a nap.
Right.
So those are the things that really attributed to me losing weight, drinking a lot of water, and so on and so forth. So that's my story right now.
Dope. So my first question is, how's life after Hot 97? And did you ever think you'll be off that station?
You know what? That's a great question. And now you really got me glad that I did this interview.
Thanks.
Because so many times when people do interviews with me, they ask me the typical questions.
Right.
And that's why I don't really like doing interviews.
Right.
And honest to God, I didn't know that you was going to ask me that question. So people don't ask me questions like that.
Right.
So I just want to commend you on that question.
Thank
you. I left Hot 97 November of 2014. And I ain't gonna lie, I was scared as shit when I left because I left on my own terms.
How many years you been there?
I was at Hot 97 21 years, from 93. Ooh. From 93 to 2014.
Right. You was there before Flex?
No, I came right after Flex.
Oh, okay.
Flex was the very first one.
Oh, okay.
And I came right after Flex. I came after, it was Flex, then Ed Lover,
nice.
And then myself.
Okay.
Me and Mr. Magic, we came together. And when I left Hot 97 in November 2014, I was scared as shit because it's like, it's the fear of the unknown.
Right.
You really don't know what your next move is going to be or what's going to be out there for you. And so I was really scared. That first 2 weeks that I was off the air, I was scared every day that I woke up.
So you didn't know your next move.
I didn't know what my next move was going to be, and I didn't think I was going to be well received from people.
Right.
After I left Hot 97, especially from promoters and people that I deal with as far as bookings and being booked in the nightclubs and stuff like that.
Right.
I didn't think that I would continue to be booked as much.
Right.
And then let's not shy away from the fact that I had some controversy that went on with me.
Right.
So I kind of left around the same time that all the controversy was going on with me. If you know my story, you know it. If you don't know it, you Google it. But
were you gonna leave anyway?
Well, I had always said to myself, Corey, that it's funny because I used to have these conversations with Flex when I was at Hot 97. And I used to always say, I don't want to be at Hot 97 at 50 years old.
Right.
This is something that I just always kind of said to myself.
Anyway, yeah.
That I don't want to be at Hot 97 at 50. And I left Hot 97 at 48 when I was 48. So, but the combination of me leaving on my own, because if you remember the story, I just resigned on the air.
Right.
And then the controversy that was going on with me was still lingering. It was still fresh in people's head. A lot of people thought I left because of the controversy.
Right,
and that's not why I left. But the combination of those two things is what had me in fear of not knowing how people was going to receive me with me not having the Hot 97 logo behind me.
Right.
So that first 2 weeks of me leaving Hot 97, I was scared as shit. But I had to, I had to reassess the direction that I needed to go in my career and which way that I, which route I wanted to go.
Right.
So one thing that I knew off the bat when I left Hot 97, and this is something that I kind of knew before I left. Mm-hmm. The main thing that I knew when I left Hot 97, I knew all the young promoters wasn't going to be dealing with me no more. Right, I knew that before I left.
Right.
I was like, once I leave Hot, I already know all the young kids, all the young promoters, they're not going to mess with Mr.Cee no more.
Did they stop?
Yeah, a lot of them stopped.
Good amount of them, man.
A lot of them stopped. Two of the main type of promoters stopped booking me when I left Hot 97. The young promoters and the Caribbean promoters.
Oh, okay.
A lot of those two sets of promoters basically stopped booking me.
Right.
The Caribbean promoters kind of stopped booking me even before I left Hot 97 because of the controversy.
Right.
You get arrested from getting head from a man.
Right.
That's the ultimate taboo in the Caribbean world. You know what I mean? You're a bati boy, you're a fish, you're all of that. So you get arrested for something like that in the Caribbean world. And I was huge in the Caribbean world as far as DJing parties and doing stuff. Yeah. I used to do my own Caribbean parties called 5 Alarm Blaze. So I was huge in that world. But once the controversy happened, the Caribbean promoters immediately stopped messing with me.
Right.
And to this day, I'm not mad. It's understandable.
Right.
That's the ultimate taboo in the Caribbean world.
But the thing is, you can't shy away from your greatness. Like, no matter what, like, great DJ's a great DJ. But, people listening to friends and doing, and plus with the elevated height of social media. So it's like,
at that time,
you can't take away from your talent.
I got arrested twice. So I got arrested in 2011. I got arrested in 2013 for the activity I was involved in.
Right.
And even when I first got arrested in 2011, some of the Caribbean promoters was like, I see, we're going to still ride with you.
Right.
But when I got arrested the second time in 2013, they was like, nah, we can't, Right. The crazy thing is the Caribbean artists held me down, and I thought they was going to desert me.
Okay.
The Caribbean artists held me down more than the promoters.
Right.
But, the Caribbean promoters, I really understood the stance that they had to take. It's one of the biggest taboos in the Caribbean culture is being a batiman or that you eat pussy. Those are the two things.
And the crazy thing is now there's a lot of them on both sides.
On both
so
sides.
It's like, you know what I mean?
You understand what I'm saying? Or whatever the case is. So, but I understand that. So that was the one group of people that definitely stopped messing with me even when I was at Hot 97. But when I left Hot 97, the young promoters, they kind of deserted me. And I already knew that was coming because most of the young promoters was only booking me because I was on Hot 97,
to get the shout outs,
and they want that shout out on the radio. They want their party shouted out or whatever the case is. So, and that's where a lot of DJs get misconstrued. Like, your talent is your talent.
Exactly.
But if you're not bringing anything else to the table, you're not really going to be worth anything.
There's a lot of radio DJs that's
there's a lot of
trash.
Well, there's a lot of radio DJs that's trash. So I had the full package. I had the access with the radio, but then I was also talented,
right,
on the set. So once that started to happen with the young promoters deserting me or whatever, I just had to take a look at who I am, what's my strength, and let's build on what my strength is, right, and then take it from there. So one thing that I had to adjust to was, not to adjust, but one thing that I just went into was playing for the older crowd.
Right.
So I'm like, listen, I'm 48 years old. Let me just gravitate to the older generation, the people that followed me when I used to DJ at Club Speed.
Right.
And the people that followed me when I do the throwback at noon.
So that crowd kind of never left you.
That crowd never left me.
Okay.
That crowd never left me. So I had to capitalize on that audience and just started going towards that audience and just catering to them only. Right. And then if the young promoters come back, you come back. It's right, all love. But I had to concentrate on the older crowd. Right. And that was even a struggle too, because believe it or not, when I was trying to get into the older generation and deal with the older promoters, a lot of the older promoters was like, you can't play for this crowd. And I was like, what are you talking about? They were like, you was on Hot 97, you can't play for this crowd. I was like,
because I was on Hot 97. You had to play more of the hits and
right, but I was on Hot 97 doing the throwback at noon.
Yes.
Doing playing old school.
So
a lot of the older promoters couldn't make the connection with me playing old school on Hot 97, but they still looked at me as a young DJ.
Right.
So, and I hope I'm not talking too long, but I really wanted to talk about the transformation because nobody asks me this question. So what I had to do, Corey, was I had to transform my whole get down.
Right.
So with the older crowd, I had to change the way that I dress. So no more wearing button-ups loose. Right. And now I'm gonna wear the button-ups and I'm gonna tuck it in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta cater to them.
Yeah, I had to, then I had to dress accordingly for that crowd, but not look old in the process.
Right.
So what I mean by that is, I had to stop wearing baggy pants.
Right. So you think the situation kind of matured you a little
bit?
Yeah,
it totally changed my whole, like, if you look at my Instagram, you look at the parties I'm doing and how I'm dressed with, like, I had to throw away my whole wardrobe and just reassess everything of how I dress.
Right.
When I did your party.
Black Excellence.
When I did your party, I was dressed.
You came clean.
You know what I mean?
Clean.
I came clean. So, but this was the naturalization of Mr.Cee of how I had to change my whole get up to cater to the older people and the older promoters. Because one thing I noticed is if you dress good, you look good, you smell good.
It's all mental, like,
and they're gonna want to book you more.
Exactly.
Because they assume, okay, he looked good. That means he got it like that. Right. I want to be around a person that got it like that. So all of that stuff I had to learn.
Right.
To deal with the older generation. And one thing that I did specifically, Corey, was, remember I told you I left in 2014. I was 48. So in 2016, I threw a 50th birthday party. Now, I never throw a birthday party ever.
Right.
But I threw the 50th birthday party to show the older promoters that I'm your age.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I did the 50th.
Didn't know your age.
They didn't even. So that's the only reason why I did the 50th birthday. It was to show the older promoters I'm the same age as you. I DJ for Big Daddy Kane. I'm from your era. And when I did that 50th birthday party, I did it at Amadeus in Queens, and I had Busta Rhymes perform. That changed everything. That changed
from that day.
Everything, everything changed because now the older promoters like, yo, he is us. He is part of us, or whatever the case is. So those are just a little bit. There were some other things too that I had to change, but those are the main things that I had to change when I left Hot 97, and I had to reshape my whole get down. There's other little things I had to change too, which. My personality, I had to change my personality. Right. Stop being an asshole.
Right.
You knew me for a long time. So you knew Mr.Cee the asshole.
Right.
You know Mr.Cee the mean guy. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you seem to change throughout the years of how I act and how I treat people. Yeah. But that kind of started when I left Hot 97. Like I had to even change my attitude, be more accessible to people.
Was a humbling experience, huh?
No, not even humble, but just smile, man. Like,
right.
You know, like Little Duval, smile, bitch, man. Like, it could be worse. Like, why you mean mugging all the time? Why you got to be mean and evil and just be mad for no reason?
Right. Was that a part of your persona, like Superman and Clark Kent?
No, it was like it was just me being standoffish to people.
Okay.
To me, the mean mechanism was like I'm gonna be mean, or I'm gonna have the mean face, and that'll mean people know not to fuck with me.
Right.
But it was also for me, it was also a thing of hiding who I really was because I was hiding a secret of what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
With the illegal activity that I was doing.
Right.
All of that had a lot to do with it.
Into it.
And I had to learn that going to therapy. You feel what I'm saying? When I went to therapy after I got arrested the second time, I had to learn that about myself. Right. That me being mean and being an asshole and all that comes from you really don't want people to know who you really is.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So now when everything came out in the open about the activity and stuff that I was doing, now it's like, fuck it. Y'all niggas know already. Now
it is what it is.
Like,
I could be myself.
I'm free now. I'm free. I could be myself. There's a weight lifted, literally a weight lifted, a weight being lost and a mental weight being lifted.
Right.
So all of that had to do with the restructure of who I became. I trust you when I tell you, when that stuff came out, it was the gift and it was the curse. It was the curse because people got to find out stuff about me that I didn't want them to know. But it was the gift because it was a release. Right. For me.
The chains is off now.
Now the chains is off. It's nothing nobody can do against me.
Right.
You know, no weapon can't you can't do nothing to hurt me no more.
Right.
And so all of that kind of just changed me overall as a human being, as a DJ, and as how a man is how I treat people and everything. And then I used that to reinvent myself. After I left Hot 97.
Everything happened for a reason. So for those of you that has probably been under a rock for the past 30 years, Mr.Cee has played a huge role in the career of the late, great, notorious B.I.G. I want to ask you, how was it working with Big in the early days?
No, I mean, working with Big was great. One thing that a lot of people don't know about Biggie is that he was a very funny person. Very, very funny.
Right. Yeah, I've seen a couple of interviews with people saying that.
Very funny, and it's kind of sad that you really don't get to see how funny Big was or how jokey he was until you see the Hypnotized video. If you remember the Hypnotized video,
on the boat and all Puff, that, yeah,
they bouncing, smiling back and forth. Like you really didn't get to see that with Big until that last video,
right?
Until Hypnotized. So, but Biggie was a very, very funny person, and he was a part of my reinvention too, as far as, me discovering him and the success that he had kind of reinvented myself. Cause at that time people knew me as Big Daddy Kane's DJ. That got me into a whole new audience where people now know me as the person behind Biggie.
So you was the one that bought him the Puff?
Yeah.
Word? Nice.
Well, you didn't know that?
I think I seen it in the movie, but I know the movie kind of fabricates things sometimes. No, I never asked you that.
No, that's the real truth. That's what really happened. That's great.
Yeah. Where did you find him though?
I found Biggie through his first DJ, 50 Grand.
Okay, 50 Grand was 50 Grand. Yes,
50 Grand was a childhood friend of mine. Is a childhood friend of mine from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and that's how I met Biggie, through his first DJ, 50 Grand. And me and 50 Grand used to DJ around Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn all the time, or whatever the case is. And he gave me this, this demo of Biggie, and it was a basement demo.
Oh, okay.
And it was Biggie rhyming in 50 Grand's basement.
Oh, okay.
And it was a very hissy, very airy
raspy
demo.
Sound. Yeah.
And so this was the demo that 50 Grand gave to me to let me hear. This is the first Biggie demo.
Yo,
history, baby.
50 Grand, Big D, RC, Amp Money, and the undisputed B.I.G. That's me. A whole lot of niggas want Big to make a demo tape, especially that bum ass nigga R. This going out to you, nigga. Recognize. Yo, 50, what's this?
It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo.
A real one.
It's a demo. 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 It's a demo.
Murderer, mass mayhem maker. B.I.G.'s on the mic, call the Undertaker. Make an appointment, schedule an interview. Because you know what big man's about to do. 50 Grand on the technique at the right.
I definitely remember this.
Wanna hear the words big man speak. The microphone I'm ripping. The burner got the clipping. Slamming them C's like Scotty Pippen.
Now, when I first heard that demo,
how ironic it's on Kane's beat.
There you go. So, you know, when I first heard this demo.
That connection was automatic.
The connection was automatic because it was the same track that me and Big Daddy Kane used for one of our biggest hit records called Ain't No Half Steppin'.
I'm with rappers stepping to me. They want to get some.
Definitely remember that. So, yo, you was there in front of the store, that classic freestyle he did? You was there?
You talk about when Biggie was rhyming
in front of the grocery store.
In front of
a corner store, something like that. Yeah.
I was not there for that freestyle. That was a block party.
Oh, okay.
That was a block party that 50 Grand was DJing at a block party, and Biggie was actually battling this dude named Preem.
I remember Preem from the movie.
Okay, yeah. So if you look at the Biggie, if you guys ever Google Biggie rapping in the street, all you got to do is Google Biggie rapping in the street. You see him battling this little short dude, dark-skinned dude, and his name was Preem. Now, Red Cafe, I think Red Cafe played Preem in the Notorious movie. But that was on the corner of Bedford Avenue and Quincy Street in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And it was during Memorial Day weekend. The year was 1991.
Oh, okay.
May 21st, 1991. And it's on the same corner now when you go to Bedford and Quincy, that Biggie mural.
Oh, okay.
So that's the same corner.
Okay.
So where the Biggie mural is at on Bedford and Quincy, it was the opposite street.
Right.
And this was the infamous battle where Biggie battled Preem and took his ass out in the street. So one thing about that Biggie freestyle in the street, I live directly around the corner.
Oh, so, you lived in Bed-Stuy too?
Huh?
You lived in Bed-Stuy too?
I lived in Bed-Stuy. Well, I'm from Bed-Stuy.
Right.
So I'm from LG, Lafayette Garden Projects, right? So when I left LG, when me and Big Daddy Kane started making records, I moved only 5 blocks up from LG, and I lived on Gates between Bedford and Franklin.
Okay.
So the battle, that Biggie freestyle in the street was on Bedford and Quincy. And I lived on Gates and Bedford. So that was really directly around the corner from my house.
Right.
And 50 Grand lived on Lexington between Bedford and Nostrand. And so 50 Grand just walked the demo to my house to Gates Avenue because I was with Big Daddy Kane at the time, and that's where I lived, and played me the demo, and that's how I got to hear Biggie.
Was Puff receptive to it, like off the rip?
Oh yeah, I mean Puff got to hear that freestyle play early off the Big Daddy Kane beat. We submitted it to the Source magazine. So the Source magazine had this contest called Unsigned Hype.
Right.
Where you could submit demos, and you know the winner, whoever submit demos, if you win, you get a contract.
Right.
So we submitted the demo, that microphone murderer freestyle you heard with the Big Daddy Kane beat. We submitted it to the Source magazine. And at that time, Puff was working at Uptown Records. He was an A&R.
Right.
And he was looking for new talent. And the guy that was running the Source magazine, his name is Mr.Cee. He contacted Matty. He was like, yo, who's the best rapper of this contest you got? And Matty told him, yo, this guy, the notorious Biggie Smalls, and it hit me on 50 Grand.
Right.
So Puff was like, well, who handles him? And Matty was like, Mr.Cee, you got to contact Mr.Cee.
Oh, word.
So Puff hit me on the Sky pages. If y'all remember 1-800-SKY pages.
Yeah.
Puff hit me on that 1-800-SKY page, and I called him back, and he wanted to set up a meeting with me, him, and Big, and I went up to Uptown and brung Big up there, and Big kicked a freestyle for Puff in the office.
Signed him right there.
Basically, that's
spot.
what it got.
Yeah.
When we was in the office with Puff, with that first meeting, Puff was like, yo, I want you to rhyme right now. And I can't remember the freestyle Big kicked, but whatever that freestyle was.
That would have been crazy if
it was the winter time. I never forget it. And Big kicked the freestyle. And after that freestyle, Puff was like, I could have a record out on you by the summer. Would you be cool with that?
Right.
And Big was like, talk to C, man. Whatever C say, talk to C. And then I met Andre Harrell, and then,
Was the movie right? Like, he didn't really like the R&B type vibe?
Nah, it was accurate. It was accurate. Like, when Puff was trying to get big on that R&B vibe with Juicy and remaking the M2 May record, he was not.
So Puff understood you had to go commercial first.
But Puff understood, and that was the genius of Puff. Like, what if Puff didn't make Biggie do that?
Right.
Would Biggie have been the same?
Right.
Without if Biggie didn't have Juicy and Big Papa, would it have been, or One More Chance, would it have been the same? Because those records is 3 crossover bangers.
Big commercial records.
Yeah, big commercial records. So that's the genius of Puff that, Puff understood. Because at that time, you had a lot of rappers from that era that was big, but they was big in hip hop. They wasn't big across the board. So you had Nice and Smooth and Brand Nubian and Gangstar and we can go on and on.
Wu-Tang,
like Wu-Tang, but nobody wasn't really taking it to that further level.
Right.
So when Biggie did Juicy and Big Pop and One More Chance and even Hypnotize, that took him to another level.
Does it still bother you, like his death?
Of course it bothers me.
Right.
It still does bother me. It's crazy that you asked me that because Biggie's son, shout out to CJ Wallace, he put out a shirt, a tribute shirt to commemorate his father back on March 9th. And the shirt, it's a street sign. And it's the street sign of the corner where Biggie got killed at in LA.
Oh wow.
So I think it was Wilshire, and I forget the other street. But it's the two corners, the intersection where Biggie got killed at. Right. And he made kind of a shirt to commemorate his father with the shirt. So it still bothers me, and it's crazy because I was just saying to myself like a couple of weeks ago, because I saw a post that Diddy put up, and shout out to Diddy, but I know Diddy lives in LA now, and I could never live in LA because of what happened. I could never. And I don't.
Where were you when you heard?
I was in my bed asleep. I was home asleep.
So you woke up the next morning after.
Well, no, I woke up in the middle of the night because my man Bugsy, who's a famous radio DJ here in New York.
Oh, okay.
He called me like 2-3 in the morning. And he woke me up out of my sleep, and he's like, "Yo, I don't know if you heard about Big getting shot." And I was like, "What are you talking about? He's in L.A." And Bugsy was like, "Nah, I think I heard he got shot." I was like, "Bugsy, leave me alone." So I hung up the phone, and it's I don't know if something like this ever happened to you, Corey, where somebody wakes you up out of your sleep to tell you some bad news, but then you can't go back to sleep.
Yeah. It's on your mind now.
Yeah, now it's on your mind. Now it's on my mind, and I'm tossing and turning, trying to fight my way back to sleep.
And back then, there wasn't no Google or nothing, so
So, and as I'm tossing and turning, I'm open my eyes now. It's the middle of the night, and I open my eyes, and I just see a picture of Big through the darkness.
Wow.
Right? But basically what it was that on the opposite side of my bed, the opposite wall, I had the Juicy plaque up.
Right.
And Big's pictures on my Juicy plaque.
Oh, okay.
The gold plaque. Okay. So it was really Big's picture, from the wall.
Right.
But it's like he looking at me, and I'm half asleep. So when I'm looking, and Big's picture, I'm looking on the wall of the plaque, and I'm like, yo, I gotta get up. I gotta do something.
Right.
So I got up, and the only thing I can think of doing was going to Hot 97 to see what was going on.
Right.
So I remember getting dressed and going to Hot 97. So
that's like 3-4 in the morning.
This is like, at this time, this got to be like more of like 5-6 in the morning.
Oh, okay. And
when I took a cab, I didn't even have a car at that time. I took a cab to Hot 97. I never saw Brooklyn that quiet. Like it just felt eerie to me.
Right.
Riding through Brooklyn, get to the Brooklyn Bridge to go to Hot 97. It just seemed like nobody was in the street. Now, that may happen all the time.
Right.
But it just felt different. It just felt different.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the station, and by the time I got to the station, that's when reality hit.
Everybody knew already.
Because then I see Angie Martinez, she crying, she was there crying. I saw Lisa Evers, she there crying, and that's when it really hit me.
Right.
And so me, Angie Martinez, and Lisa Evers, we kind of got on the air, and then the people was calling, they was crying, and I remember Busta Rhymes calling, crying, and Swiss Beats calling, crying. And that's when it kind of just really set it in about what really happened.
Oh, nice. So right now, you think there's anybody that could follow in his footsteps that you see currently in the game?
Well, we know that Hove is if you're gonna go to anybody that has kind of that we all look at as the person that
took the torch
to continue continued the torch of what Biggie has done. We got to go straight to Hove. It's Hove, and then there's nobody else.
Yeah.
So to me,
I feel like Biggie got cheated, man. Like, what you think he would have been right now? Like, as far as
I think he would have been I think he would have been similar to what Hov is doing, more executive type, type of stuff, or whatever the case is. Because, 2 years ago, me and Little C's, we went to Europe. 2 years
I remember
ago,
that for his birthday
20th
tour, right?
It was the 20th anniversary of his passing, and we went to Europe, me and C's. And I remember we was going somewhere. We was going to some country somewhere. And we was on the train, going somewhere, and C's told me, "Do you know that Biggie put out 5 platinum albums in 3 years?"
Ready to Die, Life After Death was the. What was
Go ahead, Life After Death, Ready to Die,
Life After Death. The album with the joint with Jagged Edge on it. Nasty Girl. That album. With,
so Biggie. So we're talking from '94.
The Biggie duets.
No,
that's okay.
From '94 to '97 in a 3-year time span.
Is Life After Death? They consider that 2?
That's 2 albums.
Okay. So Ready to Die, After that's 3.
That's 3.
Born Again.
No, he was gone by then.
Oh, damn. What's the other? I don't know the other 2.
Junior Mafia album.
Oh, okay.
Little Kim album.
Oh, okay.
So you talking 5 platinum albums
in 3 years.
In 3 years that he was a part of.
I
didn't even realize that until C's told me that.
Right.
5 platinum albums in 3 years. So if he was already a beast at that short amount of time, what he would have done by now? What would he have done by now?
Right.
We knew that him, Hov, Charlie Baltimore, they would have put out that Commission album.
Right.
So then that would have probably led to other offsprings, other people that would have came out. A lot of people don't know that Cameron is through Biggie.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Cameron is signed through was signed through Undias, which was Lance Unrivera, which was Biggie's business partner.
Right.
So and then what did Cameron create?
Dipset.
Yeah,
so who knows
that's
what
all
would have been? Yeah.
That's all 6 separations of Biggie right there. That's
Facts.
all, you know what I mean, or whatever the case is. So, Biggie would definitely been in the same places where Hov would have been, like executive. And the crazy thing is, with Biggie and Hov's friendship, they were so close that even if Biggie was slipping, Hov would have made sure, yo, bro, you come with me over here.
Right.
We going over this way.
Right.
And vice versa. If Big felt like Hov was slipping, yo, bro, come with me over. I think they would have lifted each other up to make sure that each one of them would have been good.
Right.
To where they would have been in position.
Right. So let me ask you, Reasonable Doubt or Ready to Die, and why?
Ooh, that's a great question. Ooh, you asking great questions today, Corey. But I gotta go.
I ain't want to act. I was gonna ask you Hov or Big, but let's go with the out because I feel like Big got cheated. Like we can't. It's hard to compare because Hov's body of work is.
I'm going with Ready to Die, man.
Why?
Because Ready to Die changed everything with East Coast hip hop. That like I told you earlier. Before Ready to Die, just, if you think about the 90s, you think about the artists that came out, Pete Rock, C.O. Smooth, Brand Nubian, Onyx.
But LL was already kind of commercial.
LL's 80s. I'm talking strictly 90s artists. Tribe Called Quest. We can go on and on. But the West Coast was killing us at the time.
I remember.
All right, the Chronic album.
Yeah.
The Chronic album was killing us. Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style album was killing us. So when Ready to Die came out,
brought us back.
He brought the East Coast back, hands down, game over. The changing of the guard came with Ready to Die. So that's why I got to go with Ready to Die over Reasonable Doubt.
Nice. So what you think about the hip hop game right now as opposed to it being more gimmicky versus like actual substance? Like there's a couple rappers who, like Kendrick's, Drake's, still Hov, but nowadays it's like kind of like the 6ix9ine type of thing and the Blue Faces. Like nothing against them, they making their money, but it's not like what it is before. Like what you think about the game now?
Well, I mean, I still love hip hop, and I still, I believe it or not, I love new hip hop more than you realize.
Oh yeah.
I love new hip hop more than you realize, and there's a lot of artists, that I really like a lot. And since the beginning of time of hip hop, there's always been those one-hit wonders. Right.
You're
right. There's always been those one-hit wonders. Now it's just more of them now. Way more of them now, yeah. Right. So it's just way more of them now.
And social media doesn't help it at all.
Right, and because social media also make your record to where is a hit it and quit it. Like, you know, they like it and then they on to the next one.
Right.
But, you know, there's some, you know, Little Baby and Gunna, I love them boys.
Yeah, they're killing it right now.
I love them boys. Yella Beezy, you know, I rock with Yella Beezy. There's Moneybagg Yo. I'm a huge Moneybagg Yo fan.
Right.
You know, you wouldn't think a 52-year-old man would. Like, I'm a huge Moneybagg Yo fan. There's some cats that I really rock with. I'm going through my laptop as I'm talking to you, but I do love the new hip hop. But we're in an era. We're in the throwaway era. So like a record, we love a record, and we're gonna it's gonna be a hit and it's gonna be a smash for like a good couple of months, and then
after that
on to the next one. So like like even Blueface, like you brought up Blueface, like. You know, I remember specifically, I was on Blueface when he had a record called Bleed It. Like he had this record called Bleed It, which was big in the West Coast.
Okay.
And that's when I started getting wind, because I kind of follow all rappers from all coasts.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's big in New York.
Right.
So I was kind of on Blueface when he had the Bleed It record. So I heard Tatiana before it broke. And when I heard Tatiana, I was like, this is the one.
Cardi B was always on it?
Huh?
Cardi B was always on it?
No, it was it was always him by himself.
Okay.
So Bleed It was the big record first that kind of started off. But then I had heard Tatiana, I was like, nah, this is going to be the one. And then Tatiana broke, and then Bleed It kind of just died down. But I kind of knew that was going to happen anyway. But back to Tatiana, like Tatiana is a type of record that, this record is going to, I don't know when this podcast is going to air, but this record is going to last through the summer.
Yeah.
It's going to last through the summer. But after Labor Day, it's a wrap.
It's over for that.
It's over. This record is going to turn into, I was just telling a good DJ friend of mine, DJ Nine, we was having this talk yesterday, and I was telling him Tatiana is going to be like Trinidad James. Not I'm talking about the song, the song gold,
itself.
Gold.
Yeah.
Remember how that record
lasted like a good 2 years.
Remember how that record was huge, and then now you can't even play it no more.
Right.
That's what Tatiana is going to unfortunately be. It's going to be so big that once it's done, it's done. Cooked.
Had enough.
Done. It done been in that Boston market oven.
Right.
It's done. It's done. So we, you know, let's enjoy it now for what it is, because it's going to be done.
Facts. What's your take on the whole Nipsey Hussle situation? I know it's sad, but
yeah, of course it's sad. It's an unfortunate situation, and like I just told you, I follow rappers that a lot of New York DJs don't follow
from the beginning.
Right. And I was, been on Nipsey Hussle, not from the very beginning, but when that Victory Lap album came, that's when I really was like, yo, let me dissect this dude catalog and just go through it just to have it in case. Right. And that was, back when that album came out. So, yeah, of course it's a sad situation, but one thing about hip hop and one thing about our people, black people in general, like we're very resilient. We're a very resilient people. We're very something that you think may take us down is going to bring us up even more.
Right. I mean, we've been through a lot.
We've been through a lot.
50 years,
100 years. You know what I mean?
So
this can only make us stronger as a people, as a hip hop community, as black people, as music lover fans. This just can only just make us stronger, a little bit more wiser.
Right.
Just on overall situations, and so. No disrespect to any other rappers that then passed away in the past couple of years, like rest in peace to XXX and some of the other rappers that then passed away. But this Nipsey Hussle thing really,
you think it's on the level of like Pac and Big?
I think it's just the same.
Okay.
I think it's just the same. I think
because back then it was big with no social media.
Yeah,
and this is big with social media.
This is big with social media, and that's what makes this a little bit different because of social media. Whereas with Big Pac, even Eazy-E passing away, that was a big loss. Like we didn't have social media back then, and the effect of Nipsey's passing with social media is what's making it so much in our face so much.
Right.
And beyond all of that, what he stood for.
Right.
He was going in the right direction, being a positive person. He was just an all-around positive dude and trying to do things on the entrepreneurial type of status.
Right.
That's what makes it hurt even more.
Bigger than rap.
It makes it hurt because he was doing other things and trying to build his community and doing other things that strip mall, he owns the whole strip
block,
mall.
Right? Yeah. I heard that.
It ain't just. It's not just the Marathon store. He owns the whole strip mall.
Right.
So he was doing things to give back to his community, and that's what makes it really hurt. Right. This is not a rapper that. No disrespect, I guess, to other rappers that passed away, but this is not a rapper that was taking life for granted. This is a rapper that was trying to make a difference. And this was what hurt by it. This is what really makes it hurt. Right.
My last question to you: what you think is the highlight? What was the highlight of your career?
Oh man, I got different ones, man. That's a great question. I got different highlights. Definitely my run with Big Daddy Kane. I mean, I wouldn't even be talking to you if it wasn't for that. Because that's the foundation of everything.
Right.
You know, being
you and him still got a good relationship?
Oh, we got a great relationship. Last year, we just did our 30th anniversary concert.
Nice.
For our first album, Long Live the Kane. We're working on our 30th anniversary concert for our second album, Big Daddy Thing, for September of this year. We have a great relationship. But that, off the rip, I would be nothing without that. What I did with Big Daddy Kane. We recorded 6 albums together from 88 to 94. So that's the foundation of everything is Big Daddy Kane. So of course that's number one. Another accomplishment of mine, and I got to do it in order, but the other accomplishment is how I took the success of Big Daddy Kane and started doing other things. So I had a run doing mixtapes back in the 90s. And I'm kind of proud to say that I was one of the few Brooklyn DJs that made their mark in the mixtape era.
Mixtape game, okay.
And one of my most successful mixtapes was the Best of Biggie mixtape. That's like a all-time mixtape classic.
Right.
So I'm proud of that because it kind of just started the Mr.Cee brand overall.
Right.
And of course my success at Hot 97, I'm proud of that. 21 years at one radio station and breaking records and breaking artists and
you did break a lot of records.
What's
the biggest record you broke? You think?
Oh my God, I broke so many records, Corey. So many. I'll tell you the last 2 records I broke before I left Hot 97. The last 2 records that I broke was Hot Nigga, and Hollywood Butter can tell you that. Hot Nigga by Bobby Shmurda and Fetty Wap, My Way. Well, those are the last 2 records I broke on Hot 97. Big records.
Yeah.
When
he come out, you think he'll have the same effect?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bigger.
Right.
He'll be bigger.
Because the song is still rocking.
Because the records are still rocking.
Still rocking. Yeah. 5 years later.
Those records are still rocking, my G. And Computers.
Computers is I think that's bigger than Hot Nigga.
Yeah, In Your World.
Oh, okay.
In Your World.
Okay.
So in your with the parties that circle you with, Computers is a bigger record than Hot Nigga. In my world,
they like Hot Nigga.
Hot Nigga is still
that's the one.
See, one thing about the older crowd, they're 3 to 5 years behind.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So a record like Hot Nigga, they hold on to that like it's they hold on to Hot Nigga like it's Blueface. Hot Nigga in the old head world is like Blueface to the young heads.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, what's Meek Mill shit? I'm a Boss. And
they still hold on to that.
They hold on to that.
Yeah. In our world too. Still get some forward.
But it's not.
It's not the same.
Not the same.
But it still get a little.
But it's like dreams and nightmares for y'all is still that.
Right.
Whereas in the old world, dreams and nightmares don't really mean anything. I'm a boss is what it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's the old head, and that's when you're a DJ playing for the old head world, you thinking new.
Right.
You got to think 3 to 5 years behind with the old head because they hold on to those hit records.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying, or whatever the case is. But, what was the question? What was the last question?
The highlights. Your highlights.
The highlights. So the highlights. Yeah. The Hot 97 run was definitely a highlight. Of course, Biggie. I feel like, and I probably never made this statement before, but Biggie saved my life. Me discovering Biggie and the success that Biggie had, it saved my career.
Right, it saved you felt like your career was going down a little bit before.
Well, I mean, I was in that, when Biggie came, I was in that world where I was in that transition where I was trying to not take myself away from Big Daddy Kane, but I was trying to get people to recognize me beyond just being Big Daddy Kane's DJ.
Right.
So like I said, it was the mixtapes, and then, you know, I had just started doing Hot 97 in 93, so Big was just starting to peak. But then when Biggie blew up, then that's when everybody kind of recognized me as being associated with Big.
Right.
And then it just took me to another world. So that, you know, was the Biggie success. It saved my career. Like, hands down, it saved my career.
You think you'll be 60, 70 years old still like DJing in clubs?
That's crazy you asked me that. And my boy DJ Naeem from Jersey, shout out to DJ Naeem. Me and him had a conversation the other day, and he's like, yo, man, I don't want you out here 60-something years old DJing.
He said he doesn't want you that
He doesn't want me.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
You know, he's like, you know, I don't want you.
It's not like, no disrespect to like Red Alert or anything, but when you see Red Alert, you think old school. Like with you, it's more like you still rocking. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
right. I mean, you know, the one thing going back to the older generation, the one thing about them is that if they're a fan of you, they're gonna hold on to you. That older American black crowd here in New York, if they rock with you, they're gonna rock with you. So all I can say at this point is I have to leave it up to the party goers.
Right.
If I'm still in demand, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn down the bag. I can't turn down the bag if I'm still in demand. So, and like I say, the younger cats, the younger crowd, and the younger promoters, they'll spit you up and throw you away.
Right.
It's on to the next one. And especially with the younger promoters, because they got their own DJs that they coming up, they got their DJs that they coming up with, right? Yeah. So, and you respect that.
Yeah.
But with the older people, if they've been rocking with you for 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to rock with you.
Yeah.
So I have to leave it up to them to dictate if I'm going to still be around.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right. So, Mr.Cee, I appreciate you doing my first show.
Absolutely,
Forever
man.
love, man.
Hope I wasn't talking too much, man.
Nah. Perfect. Shout out to everybody. Subscribe to the YouTube page at the bottom. This is the Correy K Affect. Thank you.